That's why it's all always garbage, you know. So there you go.
There you go.
Great place to start. But you have to think that like every single freaking person and their mother is talking about this. But yeah, I didn't even, full disclosure, before we even talk about this, I didn't even watch it. I don't give a shit. People say, "Oh my God, you didn't watch it? How could you know?" I don't give a shit. Whatever. I know what happened. Who cares? You know, like whatever. But you did watch it, right? You did watch this thing between Zelensky and
I did. Yep. Watched the
Trump.
whole 47-minute, whatever it was, little interaction.
So, you know, just to open it up, hey, is Trump a Russian asset? You know, I don't think anyone here's, well, I'll answer for myself. I'll still say no, but by golly, like, I need to have people feed me the argument that he's not at this point, because it's challenging to watch such obvious displays of like lying for a negative Ukraine view. It's tough. So
yeah, he's doing a lot of things that a Russian asset would do, which is what makes it tough. You know.
right.
I don't.
This is why I feel so
don't,
stupid, man. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, ultimately, I don't think he's a Russian asset. I think he's just dumb. I don't think he knows what he's doing. But
pro-dictator instead of Russian asset, maybe. Does that feel more right? Maybe that feels more right.
He's like so fucking concerned with these minerals, which is so weird to me. I don't know who's got his ear about the minerals, but
well, and just as we started chatting away, I saw some article that says the deal's still on in some way from Zelensky for minerals, which just hard to see him have to bite the bullet so much, and you know what I mean, you know. But sometimes survival in this world, anybody tells you it's all gumdrops and rainbows, let me tell you they're wrong. So sometimes you got to bite the bullet, and we'll see what happens. Choppy waters, Trump sucks. We'll see what happens. You know?
Well, it is interesting too because literally the next day, Zelensky goes to Europe, and there's this big meeting, this big coalition where they're basically like, all right, well, what do we do from here? Which is, to me, a very strong response from what should be our allies, because they're trying to basically signal, like, we will go ahead without you. We don't need you at the table. We could try and figure this out if that's the route you want to go.
Yeah, I saw that. It's kind of crazy, because UK said they would put boots on the ground, which is pretty next level.
So did France.
Oh, did they?
I believe France also.
There you go.
So it's just
good old Joey Senile B tiptoed around saying, never said that in his time in office. Not that Trump would say it, but I'm just like, that's a pretty interesting level of, but you know, based on what's happened, you just feel like.
I just think Trump's incompetent. I think he's just incompetent. I think he truly is as well. Like, because it was funny. The meeting seems to be going fine until like Zelensky and Vance had a little bit of a back and forth, and then it all just went to the side at that point. It feels like Trump is just like, he just fucking licks his finger and puts it in the air, and whatever way the wind's blowing, that's the way he's going to work for the next, few moments of his life.
He wants to get caught being the bad guy in any situation, in any way. Which he's been the bad guy in a lot of things he's done in his life, but not like broadcasted, right? So anything that's going to be some sort of big event. He doesn't want to look like the bad guy. So it sounds like, and it makes sense to me based on how these men are, J.D. Vance started a little something, and then Trump was like, okay, I'll run with it now because I'm a little bitch and I wasn't going to, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get put in jail for some of the stuff we say eventually.
Stop.
During this president's term, but.
Stop. Well, listen, that's why we stay anonymous, you know?
True.
I'm like behind 4 layers of VPNs right now,
and I continue to snip out mistakes. But listen, this show has TDS, but whatever.
Absolutely. Some would say justified TDS, let's do. Which there you go.
Let's do the most charitable argument for the people that will absolutely call us having TDS. The most justifiable argument is that, like, okay, let's not send Ukraine support and money. because we're running a deficit, and why are we sending out? We're not sending out money, by the way. That's not what's happening. It's value of like weapon support, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Not sending out money. When you see just numbers, it's not all just like airplane loads of cash on pallets. It's not how this works.
Right.
It's not. But even the most charitable argument is like, don't send them this, but that's still not pro-Russian. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand some folks post-Cold War. We thought we were teammates, but clearly post-Cold War, you're pro-Russian. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. You can be anti-send Ukraine value in any way and still be like, yeah, Russia's bad. But it doesn't feel like those two things are married in such a strong way. Again, I have internet brain, so take it for what it is. But yeah.
Yeah. It's still not as pro-Russia as Trump seems to inexplicably be.
Because again, the most and I just went on a ramble because I'm a cockbag, but the most charitable argument again shouldn't make you pro-Russian. But then there,
I got you.
Pro-Russian things that are being done. Yeah. See if
whereas Trump seems to be pro-Russian. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Well, it's yeah. And it seems like Trump just wants a ceasefire signed, which means that Russia keeps all the land that they currently are under control of. Which is obviously Zelensky does not want to do that.
Right.
And then the thing that set off Trump too, which was interesting. So, Trump brings up the idea of a ceasefire in front of all of this media. And Zelensky kind of shoots it down because he said we had a ceasefire with Russia in
many times before.
2014
Sure.
and 2019, and they just went ahead and did what they wanted anyways. Like they took Crimea back in 2014, I think. Like they are just creeping. And Trump's like, not with me. They won't go back on a ceasefire with me. And Zelensky's point was, I mean, they still were occupying Crimea while you were president. It's not like Russia.
Right, he's an idiot. He just
Trump's
says things.
the United States president. Let's, we have an immense amount of respect for him. We'll just clear out. No, none of that happened. They were still being occupied.
Right. There was a soft war going on during his presidency about this, and he did nothing. So he just says things because he's an asshole and he lies. Right, there you go.
Well, not that he did nothing. He did give Ukraine a lot of equipment.
I'm sure he did. I just meant like he didn't. He says like, oh, they won't take stuff on my watch. It's like what they've, and even this time, it's in the same vein. This time, if you just let them take land, it's like, okay, I just feel like there's a lot of us that don't remember that like obviously you would go to school and you would go to class and you had class every day. But there was like a whole chapter and subject inside of World War II on just the word appeasement. And a lot of people out there don't fucking understand that, like, it's not a thing that's going to stop someone from continuing to be an asshole. And so, like, you want to play the appeasement game, then you're Neville Chamberlain? No. Is that right? Who's the asshole?
I think you're right.
And then Winston Churchill's the guy who was like, nah, let's do this thing.
Over.
There you go. Neville Chamberlain.
I think you're right.
So it's so hard because you could literally open a history textbook and there's 18 chapters just on that word. And then you see these things happen and you're just like, it's hard to like square that in my mind that someone could just brazenly just let appeasement happen. But it's tough. Yeah. As always, it's tough.
But again, I think Trump's just acting like selfish here. I don't know that he's
he always does.
Pro-Russia. It's pretty crazy how hard he's fumbling the bag, though.
Any long-term damage you think from this stuff as it pertains to us in countries abroad? I can't.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's hard to put into words, but yeah, of course, I would say, of course, as well. But it's hard to put into words what that would be.
Well, again, not to bring, but this weekend, literally the day after, all of these European leaders were ready to go to meet with Zelensky without the United States.
Right.
That was clearly arranged and set to go if Friday went poorly, which it did. This is just signaling us losing our influence as a leader in the world because Trump's a fucking moron.
Yeah, I saw, and dude, take this with a truckload of salt. I mean, you know what, just a universe load of salt. But I did see today that there was some quote from the Speaker of the House, Johnson, who was like, hey, like, Russia's bad. Like, it wasn't like a rebuke of Trump. He didn't say, Trump, you're wrong. Nobody would ever say that if they were the red team. But something along those lines of, like, so I'm just like, all right, is this where he does die? Like, on this stupid hill with Russia? Like, I don't think so. But there definitely is some, like you said, Europe closing us out now instantly. And then that's just going to piss him off more. If you know me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's like, I just met with Macron and I just met with that Starmer guy and they were nice people.
And they turn around.
Yeah, there you go. Your impression's better, but you get it. You get it.
Yeah, it just worries me for... It does feel like the hierarchy of the world is shifting. And it's shifting in a way that favors more European leadership, but also more, like, Chinese... Russian leadership, which it just feels like the U.S. is we're just boxing ourselves off into a little corner and talking about how great we are. It's fucking baffling.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I don't know if we can repair that, or that's going to be a mountain. It's a mountain of work to repair.
It's a lot of it's a mountain of work, and it's a lot of nuance that clearly the man's not interested in sifting through. Not that I ever thought he would. But he continues to prove time and time again that he's just not interested in the nuance of the job of, like, actually maintaining relationships between, like, nations and understanding in depth the benefit that we get. Just because it's a trade deficit with Canada doesn't mean Canada's just fucking over Americans. Like, that is a baby-ass way of looking at it. Like, that's just baby brain. No wrinkles at all. That's literally how stupid that is. So, we just have a man just not looking in depth in anything and just saying, you know, it's yeah. So.
Well, to me, that kind of, like, all he wanted to do was score a political win, secure some Ukrainian mineral rights, and sign a ceasefire. But, like, obviously it's more complicated than that, and he's not interested in doing that work. Yeah. Same with Elon Musk and his firing of all probationary...
Too hard for them.
Like, they don't want to do the work, they just want to sort of play the game.
Too hard for them.